The Civic has been a bread and butter model for Honda. It's an accomplished commuter car. Honestly, it's one of the best cars in the market today. But what if you wanted something sporty? Well, Honda has the Civic Si for you. But what if you wanted just a bit more? Everything turned to 11, everything turned to the maximum potential the Civic has. Honda now has an answer for you in the form of the 2023 Honda Civic Type R. The front end of the Type R is extremely aggressive and I love it. Honda has gone all out with design, implementing lots of cuts and creases and aggressive elements to the front. One of the aggressive elements are the hood scoops. It's actually functional. Wind actually passes through the grille and comes out through the bonnet. Probably helps with downforce and probably helps keep the engine cooler as well. Excellent thought by Honda by putting it there. I think none of its other rivals have it on the hood. You've got lots of cuts and creases in the bumpers as well, lots of vent going on. You've got a big intercooler dam in the middle as well, which the intercooler is actually very clearly visible through the grille. You might have to take care of that if you take this car out on long road trips because I feel like bugs might affect it. So you've got a very nice looking grille. It's got the red Honda badge, and you know Honda reserves this red badge for only very special cars. So you know this is one of their most special work, and they've reserved the red logo for the Type R. One of the only similar things compared to this, to the regular commuter Civic, is probably only the headlights. Those look really good, and they've made the whole front end, the bumper, work very well with this headlight design. So now they have three designs that they work with. One, the bumper design is of the regular Civic. The SI has a bit more cuts and creases, and this is the full aggressive track ready version, and I think all of them look really good. This one personally to me looks the best. When you come to the side is when you notice that the fenders are very flared. You've got like a wide body kit almost to the side profile, but it's so neatly integrated into the profile of the Civic. Basically this is the Civic hatchback, but with all the flared arches, it looks amazing. Honestly, the wide stance, especially when you look at it from head-on angle, it looks so aggressive, so wide. It just wins my heart, honestly. The side profile also has this beautiful 19-inch alloys in matte black. They look really good, and when you look through the wheels, you can also see the lovely looking, 4-pot Brembo red calipers, which stand out in the whole side profile of the car. You've also got very good looking side skirts, which again add that sporty, aggressive element that the Civic is trying to put out. You've got black mirrors as well, and the whole, little bit here and there just makes this car look so good. One thing I'd wish though is that the side profile is so good, the rim size is everything. Perhaps they could have made the stance a bit better by maybe adding a bit more spacers in the front and the rear. The track would have been a bit wider and would have just completed the whole look perfectly. But otherwise, I'm a big fan of the way the Civic hatchback looks, the sedan looks, and the Type R is no different. This is personally my most favorite looking Civic ever. The rear of the brand new FL5 Civic Type R looks really good. It has to have a wing. Every Type R has always had a wing. This one feels a bit aftermarket look though. It could have been better integrated towards the edge of the tailgate. It would have looked perfect. I'm not complaining though because it still looks really good. You've got a bit of a diffuser on the bumper, and you've got some fake vents as well. You've got the same triple exhaust setup that carries out from the FK8. That's just become a Type R iconic thing. So when you see triple exhaust, you know it's a Type R. You've got the tail lights from the Civic hatchback, which is again perhaps one of the few things that are shared from the commuter car version. And you've got the smoked chrome Civic badge, the red Honda badge, and the money shot, the Type R badge, which lets you know this is the ultimate Civic available in the market. Overall, the Civic does have toned down looks compared to the FK8 that looked a bit wild with a bigger spoiler and lots more cuts and creases. This is a bit more reserved, but sometimes it might be a better thing because it appeals to a larger crowd, and ultimately Honda wants to sell more cars, right? I personally believe that both generations look good. This looks just as good as the previous one in a different way. I'm now inside the Type R, and it's a lovely place to be. Well, it's got the basic Civic dashboard and the interior elements, which is a great starting point. I love the design and the functionality of the Civic's interior. You've got rotary knobs for the AC controls. You've got knobs and buttons for the head unit, which is again the very familiar 9-inch unit which has wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. You can play with a host of settings for the car, so you can turn off the rev match and lots of customization you can do. You've also got this screen with the boost gauge and lots of oil pressure, lots of data points which you can use to study to understand how the car is doing at different times. You've got the very nice shift knob, which is very small and very nice to hold, just like the throws. It's extremely precise and it's very nice, but I shudder to think that on a very cold day this would be very difficult to hold without gloves. You've got this sort of aluminium, sort of shiny carbon fiber-ish weave on the center, so you have no center gloss black in the center console here, and it just looks so nice. These small things differentiate it from the regular Civic. You've got the same mesh pattern but with a plaque on it which mentions the exact chassis number, so this is 00148, and it just looks so nice. It feels so premium. One thing else that is really different in this Type R compared to the regular Civic are the seats. These are sports seats and they are so comfortable. They look really good. It might be a bit too red initially, might be a bit overwhelming because you've got red carpets as well, which might be a bit difficult to keep clean, but the whole ambience, what you get used to it, feels really good and feels very worthy of a Type R. The seats themselves are extremely comfortable. The cushioning is perfect. It's a mix of, suede Alcantara, and it feels very premium. The seats themselves have great support, so they really hold you and hug you tight, especially a big guy like me. I'm perfectly snug, so when I'm driving this car hard, I'm not thrown around at all. Honda has nailed the seating posture and the seats themselves for this car perfectly well. One more thing very exclusive to the Type R are the dials. So when you keep it in comfort mode, this car has different drive modes, and they have this one mode which is called the Plus R mode, which is like the most aggressive driving mode this car has. The dials change too, and it changes into like an F1 inspired dial where you have the very big rev counter, a speed, a gear indicator, and lots of different other technical data points you can put in. What can I say? Honda has retained the basic positive functionality that the Civic had and upped it up to make it so special for the Type R. Just perfect if you ask me. I am now in the back of the Type R, and as you can see, it's just a Civic. So you have so much leg room, you can tuck in your feet. I've got enough headroom, but 3 people are not welcome here. Although there is space, the cup holders are integrated into the seat, which is first time I've seen in any car. So that's a clear no for the 5th passenger. You don't even have an headrest. For the other passengers, you do have a fixed headrest, which can be a bit annoying perhaps for taller people, but space is really not an issue. However, one thing that is an issue is that it might feel a bit claustrophobic or dark because there is no sunroof. The front seats are red, the back seats are black, so they might lend a bit of a dark feel inside, but space is not an issue, so that might help counting the claustrophobia. What can I say? Honda just knows how to make a practical car, and that's what makes the Civic Type R so special, because it's so sporty, so aggressive, yet immensely practical. Did I mention the big boot? That can easily take all your weekend trip luggage with ease. I'm now behind the wheel of the 2023 Type R, and you can see the smile on my face. It's such a joy to drive. It's such a precision tool. The handling is so good. The engine is so powerful and has torque at all times. It's a 2-liter turbocharged engine, produces 315 horsepower, front wheel drive only, and only 6-speed manual. In this day and age, kudos to Honda for doing that. The engine is so torquey. There's torque all around the rev range, and you can actually feel a bit of VTEC. I know it might sound a bit like an exaggeration, but you can actually feel a bit of VTEC. So this is in comfort mode right now, and as you can see, it's very, very comfortable, very refined, no loud noises, no nothing. You can cruise easily and just play through the gears because it's such a joy to use this shifter. The throws are so short, it's so precise, and it's so slick. Typical Honda. Trust Honda to make a good gearbox. They haven't disappointed. It just feels so nice. The engine is on boil at any time, and if driven sanely, you get pretty good fuel economy as well. On the highway, you can easily get 8.5 liters per 100, but if you push it, it can definitely go up. There are different drive modes. So individual mode, you can set up the car individually, how the engine, the chassis, and everything you want to be. There's a Plus R mode, which is like an all max out attack mode. Put into Plus R mode, the dials change and everything, and the engine gets a bit louder. Sadly, it's all pumped in, as you can hear. I use the rev match. It's all pumped in, but it actually sounds fun. I won't say the best sounding, but it sounds fun. It motivates the driver to go even faster during curves and stuff, which is actually a nice thing if you have a Type R. The brakes are absolutely spot on. They stop on a dime. The pedal feel is so positive and it feels so good. Honestly, this is one of the best brakes I've ever used. But you floor it, oh wow, and it puts the power down so effortlessly. It's just like a go-kart. Honestly, it's like a point and shoot. That's how good this Civic Type R is. Honestly, for the money, I don't think I can get any better. It just feels so good. It puts the power down. The handling is so good, and it's just perfect. Honestly, it's just so darn good. Honda has nailed the driving part of this Type R. It drives absolutely perfect and actually doesn't feel like a front wheel drive car, which is a compliment. The 265 Pilot Sports grip like a leech. You have to be literally on the ragged edge to make sure that these tires are giving up or this chassis feels like you're doing too much. There is also lift off oversteer if you push it, but you really have to be on the limit. What can I say? Honda knows how to make a fun driving car, and this is one of their best work. I am so in love. I just want to keep on driving this all day. In conclusion then, the 2023 Civic Type R. Well, what can I say? I feel like it's a very complete package because it looks so good, it drives so well, and it's immensely practical. Isn't that what the ethos of the Type R has always been? In fact, it's one of the ethos of the hot hatchback, and Honda has stuck very true to what a hot hatchback is. At about $50,000 Canadian, if you can find a car without markup, I think it's great value in the current market because it literally does it all. At this point, I'm just gonna shut up and head for a drive.